What's up guys, my name is Will and I'm the founder of Motorcycle Mastery, and in this episode I want to talk to you about why most riders shift incorrectly and how it affects control, smoothness, as well as your safety while on the road. Now I do want to admit that a lot of these issues mostly start out with brand new riders, and as a rider gets more experienced, they become better at this. However, there are a lot of riders that just carry bad habits ever since they were a brand new rider, and so this will be very useful for those type of riders as well to correct them. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on the road and talk more about this. If you're a brand new rider, just want to let you know that you don't have to pull the clutch in all the way. You can pull it in about 40% of the way, and by pulling it in 40% of the way, you've entered the friction zone. So long as you're in the friction zone, you can clutch up or clutch down with your transmission and get into the next gear, whether it's up or down. And this makes it a lot faster to accelerate from a red light or from a stop sign or from a dead still, especially if you want to ride in a performance-oriented type of fashion. Like sometimes I'm kind of like a hooligan. I wait for the red light to turn green, and as soon as it turns green, I'm out of there. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or something like that. I've never timed it, but I'm curious. One of these days I might. But anyway, becoming really good with your launches and getting your motorcycle to launch really quickly is not just about riding in a performance-oriented way or just being a hooligan. On the street, it also doubles up as a safety precautionary measure, simply because you can exit a situation extremely quickly. Right now I'm going to be splitting lanes, but if you are by yourself at a red light, just like I am right now, and you've held your clutch where it's about 40% of the way out at a red light, just like I am right now, you can simultaneously give throttle and let go of your clutch in a smooth manner, so this way you can take off almost instantly. Let me go ahead and demonstrate for you as soon as the light turns green. Just like that. Having the option of escaping a situation, just like I did in case it turns terrible, is something that could potentially save my life. What I would recommend for you is going to the parking lot. Okay, this could be a CVS parking lot, doesn't really matter, and just practicing your friction zone, figuring out where your motorcycle's friction zone is, because that's the best way that you can figure out how far you need to let go of it in order for you to be in the friction zone. And then as soon as you figure that out, launching your motorcycle should be a lot better, and you should have less issues when you're putting it into first gear and leaving your driveway or red light or a stop sign or anything for that matter. Alright, now I want to talk about how you can become really smooth with your clutch. And this has to do a lot with not just the clutch, but also with the throttle. The other mistake a lot of brand new riders make is that they think they need to pull in the clutch every single time they shift. However, that's not the case at all. There's a red light coming up, there's no cars behind me, so let me go ahead and give you a demonstration. You could do this. And if you do that, you're going to have very rough shifts. And at the same time, your motorcycle is going to be very jerky. And if you don't have a slipper clutch, and you got one of those motorcycles like I used to have, like a KTM RC390 from 2017, which didn't have a slipper clutch, if you did that, then what would happen is that your engine's RPM as well as your transmission's RPM would be misaligned, and therefore you could potentially lock up your rear tire. This could turn into a disaster, and I highly recommend that in situations like that you can downshift by holding in the clutch and then downshifting 4 or 5 gears all at the same time. However, when you're riding in excess speeds of 20-30 miles an hour, that could be very dangerous, so make sure that you're always covering your front brakes with at least 2 fingers, and that you're trailing your brakes into an intersection, or perhaps if you're coming into a stop, trailing your brakes while you're pulling in your clutch and banging down into gears. So this way you have a little bit of control or perhaps you can use your rear brakes depending on how fast you're going. If you want to learn how to use your front and rear brakes properly, I got a video on that as well. I got videos of all kinds for all different scenarios, my friends. So make sure you like this video and also subscribe to the channel. There's gold nuggets everywhere on the channel if you look for it. Anyway, let's go ahead and transition over to talking about rev matching. Because if you don't have a quick up and down shifter and you're not rev matching, you can unsettle the motorcycle. And unsettling it has a lot of drastic consequences that you don't want. And you see, the whole reason why you should be rev matching is because you want your downshifts to be a lot more smoother. Having downshifts that are a lot more smoother don't unsettle your motorcycle. And as a result of not unsettling it, your motorcycle's weight distribution is not thrown off balance by a whole lot. Now, anytime you shift up a gear, down a gear, give your motorcycle throttle, let go of the throttle, or sometimes chop it, use your front brakes, use your rear brakes, there's a lot of weight shifting, and weight is shifting forward or weight is shifting backwards. With the caveat being that the only thing that does not shift weight forwards or backwards is your motorcycle's engine braking. To fix the miscommunication problem between your engine as well as your transmission's RPM always has to be a little bit higher than your engine's RPM. Case in point, right over here. I did that really quickly. I couldn't explain what I was doing because obviously I'm in a panic rush to get to this red light. Now you see, if I didn't rev match and I was banging down into gears one by one, okay, one by one, then this would happen. Look, a red light's coming up. I'm gonna do it right here. And this is one of the reasons why motorcycles come with a quick shifter, because the shifting becomes really smooth and weight doesn't move forwards and backwards, and this allows your motorcycle to become a lot more smoother. So let's go ahead and recap. Number one, you don't need to pull your clutch in all the way. Find the friction zone. As long as you're in the friction zone, you can keep your clutch in about 40%, 30%, depending on where you set your clutch lever. Right now, I've set my clutch lever a little bit closer to me. So if you have one of these rotary dials on your clutch, first of all, make it ergonomic for yourself. Okay, that's number one. Find an ergonomic position where you're not stretching your hand all the way to grab it. So as long as it's within reach, that's all you got to worry about. And then secondly, you don't need to pull in the clutch, bang down into the gear, let go of the clutch, and then repeat that process 4 or 5 times in order to go up or down a gear. You can simply pull in the clutch, keep it pulled in, and go up or down as many gears as you like, all simultaneously. But the only negative thing is, whenever you're traveling at 65 miles an hour, 66 miles an hour, anywhere on the highway for that matter, or on typical roads doing 30, 40 miles an hour, by pulling in your clutch, you disengage your transmission, and as a result of disengaging your transmission, you're pretty much sending your motorcycle, and you don't have engine braking to slow yourself down. So this requires you to use a combination of your front as well as your rear brakes while you're going down in gears or up in gears. Depending on the scenario, there could be many, many different scenarios. I don't know all of them, but you get what I'm saying. Just be prepared to use your brakes, so this way you're not sending your motorcycle without any engine braking and potentially getting into an accident that way. And then number 3, get into the habit of using something called rev matching. Rev matching allows your shifting to become a lot more smoother. So those are the top 3 tips I have for you. And if you have any questions or if you need some explanations, leave a comment down below. And once again, don't forget, I have 2 additional videos on rev matching. Search through my Motorcycle Mastery playlist and make sure you go watch those videos. And while you're at it, download the free guide down below. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.